We live in a world just swimming in data, right? And every business out there is trying to cut through all that noise,
Hmm.
trying to really connect with their customers, on a much more personal level.
Yeah, it's kind of the goal, isn't it, for, well, any modern business?
But how do you actually do that? How do you build those meaningful sort of one-on-one experiences in today's, well, pretty complex digital landscape?
It really is the holy grail.
Oh, yeah.
Moving beyond just, grabbing data
Mm.
to truly understanding and responding to individual customer journeys.
Mhm.
That's where the real magic happens.
Exactly. And that's precisely what we're diving into today. We've got our hands on something a little different this time. It's actually exam prep material for Adobe Journey Optimizer.
Right.
Now, hang on, stick with us here. Even if you have like zero plans to actually take this exam, the questions themselves, and maybe more importantly, the reasoning behind the answers, they offer this incredibly practical, almost behind the scenes look at how this pretty powerful platform works.
Yeah, think of it like unlocking well, maybe a cheat code to understand the key functions. We're sort of bypassing the dense technical manuals and
Yeah.
getting straight into, real world application scenarios.
Hmm.
It's really about understanding the engine, the thing that powers those personalized interactions we all experience as consumers every day.
Right. So our mission for this deep dive is to pull out that real world knowledge, those aha moments about how Adobe Journey Optimizer actually helps create those effective customer experiences we're all kind of aiming for.
Yeah, let's dig in.
We're going to explore the nuts and bolts, but without any, test anxiety. Okay, let's unpack this. First up, something called calculated attributes. The first question in our material here asks about their main benefit.
Okay. And the core advantage, as material points out, is enabling advanced segmentation based on aggregated behavior.
Aggregated behavior.
Yeah. Now, what's really interesting here is that it shifts you from just knowing who your customers are to understanding what they've actually done over time.
Right. The examples they give are things like total purchase value, or maybe the number of times someone has logged in, or their last purchase date, things like that.
Exactly.
So instead of just a basic segment like all female customers, you could create something much more insightful, like customers who've spent over $500 in the past 6 months, A&D logged in at least 10 times. That gives you a much richer picture, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Think of calculated attributes almost like your crystal ball for spotting customer trends.
Yeah.
They reveal these, hidden patterns in behavior that simple demographics just completely miss.
Mm-hmm.
And this lets you proactively tailor experiences. You could almost anticipate needs before they're even explicitly stated. It's not just efficient, it's about getting a deeper, almost intuitive grasp of your audience.
That makes total sense. Okay, now imagine a situation where you've got a ton of customer actions all happening at once. Clicks, purchases, signups, you name it. Question 2 deals with this. It asks which mechanism in Journey Optimizer lets you prioritize one type of event over another when, lots are coming in simultaneously.
Ah, right. The answer here is event processing order rules.
Okay.
Picture like a busy air traffic control tower. They can't handle all the planes landing at exactly the same second.
Right.
They need a system. They need rules to decide which ones get priority for landing, which ones for takeoff.
Right.
Event processing order rules work, well, pretty similarly.
So when Journey Optimizer is flooded with different events, someone views a product, adds it to their cart, then buys it, all within seconds.
Yeah, exactly. You need a way to tell the system, hey, this signal's more important than that one.
So you could effectively say, look, a completed purchase, that's more critical than just browsing a product page. Deal with the purchase event first.
Precisely. This ensures that the most, well, meaningful signals, like a completed order or maybe even a subscription cancellation, get processed and trigger any relevant follow-up actions before less critical events pile up.
Got it.
Event prioritization isn't just about managing a queue. It's really about ensuring your marketing engine reacts to the most meaningful signals first.
Mm,
A purchase usually signifies higher intent than a browse.
sure.
And prioritizing like that prevents wasted resources and makes sure you get timely, relevant follow-ups out.
Okay, this is all kind of the engine under the hood, but what does this actually look like for the customer? Question 3 gives us a perfect real-world example. A marketer wants to personalize a push notification. They want to show the user the exact product they were just looking at. Which feature makes this happen?
The magic here is real-time personalization, and the specific tool is something called personalization helper functions. What's fascinating is the immediacy. These functions can grab data either directly from the individual's profile or from their really recent activity right at the very moment the message is being sent out.
So if I was just browsing, let's say, a new pair of running shoes on a company's website,
Mhm.
and then maybe a few minutes later, I get a push notification from their app showing me those exact shoes.
Hmm.
That's this real-time personalization in action.
Precisely. It's that level of, up-to-the-minute relevance that can just dramatically increase engagement.
Yeah, I can see that.
It moves way beyond those generic messages, and it shows the customer, hey, this brand is actually paying attention to my immediate interest. This is a real aha moment, I think, because it makes personalization really tangible.
Right.
It's not just about, using your name in an email. It's about directly responding to what you're doing right now.
That kind of personalization, yeah, it feels helpful, not intrusive. Now, to make all the seamless personalization work, you really need to have a unified picture of each customer, right? Question 4 addresses this. How does Adobe Experience Platform bring together anonymous data and known user data?
Okay, this is where the identity graph comes in. Imagine maybe a detective piecing together clues to identify a suspect.
Okay.
The identity graph acts kind of similarly. It connects all those digital breadcrumbs, website visits, app usage, emails, even offline interactions to form a single complete picture of you.
So, like, you might visit a website without logging in.
Hmm.
Then later you create an account and then maybe you use their mobile app. Each of those actions generates different digital identifiers, right?
Exactly. And the identity graph figures out that all these different identifiers, well, they probably belong to the same person.
Ah,
It
okay.
uses some pretty sophisticated techniques to determine the likelihood that these different digital touchpoints belong to the same individual, and then it merges them into that single unified customer profile.
Right.
And that unified view is the bedrock, really, of truly personalized experiences. Without it, you're just seeing fragmented snapshots of the customer journey.
So it's all about connecting those anonymous website visits with the person who eventually signs up or logs in. That makes perfect sense for getting that complete customer understanding. Now, let's say you want to target a very specific group based on a particular action they took within a really specific time frame. Question 5 asks which type of segment is best for targeting users who performed a specific event exactly once in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, the ideal choice here is a streaming segment using a count condition.
Streaming segment.
The streaming part is really key because it means the segment is continuously evaluating user behavior in near real time. It's constantly updating who qualifies.
Right.
And the count condition allows for that really precise targeting in this case. Only those who did the action exactly one time within that specific 24-hour window.
So not someone who did it, say, 5 times and not someone who did it, 30 hours ago, just once in the last 24 hours. That level of detail seems incredibly powerful for, well, very timely marketing.
It absolutely is. Imagine you want to send a special follow-up offer to someone who signed up for a free trial yesterday but hasn't actually logged in since.
Okay.
A streaming segment with that count condition lets you automate that very specific and perfectly timed communication. It just makes your marketing much more efficient and more relevant.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly to a really fundamental aspect, reacting to what people do on your website. Question 6 asks what needs to be set up for a website event to properly trigger a journey in Adobe Journey Optimizer.
Right. The essential foundation here, the absolute must-have, is a mapped inbound event schema.
Okay, a mapped inbound event schema.
Yeah. Think of the website as speaking one language, and this mapped inbound event schema is like the translator that Journey Optimizer understands.
Ah, like a dictionary.
Exactly. This schema defines what information you're capturing from your website, things like button clicks, page views, form submissions, and importantly, how that data is structured within the Adobe Experience Platform.
So Journey Optimizer needs this dictionary to understand what these website actions actually mean before it can do anything.
Precisely. You have to create that mapping between the events happening on the website and the schema within AEP so that Journey Optimizer can recognize them and, in turn, trigger the right customer journey.
Got it.
Without this proper data configuration, the platform simply won't know how to react to what's happening on your site. It's really the crucial first step in any kind of behavior-driven marketing automation.
Absolutely fundamental, yeah. Now let's talk about something really important these days, respecting user privacy. Question 7 asks about two specific features in Adobe Journey Optimizer that help support GDPR compliance when you're managing customer data.
Yeah, super critical area.
Hmm.
And the two features highlighted are data access control policies and consent policy enforcement.
Okay.
Data access control policies are all about putting safeguards in place, limiting who within your organization can actually access or, work with sensitive personal data. It's really about ensuring responsible data governance and, well, security.
So you can control who sees what customer information. That makes sense.
Exactly. And
Mm.
consent policy enforcement is about making absolutely sure you're always respecting the permissions that users have given you.
Right.
It ensures that you only send messages or take actions based on the consent they've explicitly provided. This is, absolutely crucial for complying with GDPR and other privacy regulations popping up everywhere.
It's definitely reassuring to know that these platforms have built-in tools to help manage data responsibly. Now, of course, things don't always go perfectly according to plan, do they?
Oh, rarely.
Question 8 deals with troubleshooting. If a customer journey fails to start for a particular group of people and the error message says missing primary identity, what's the very first thing you should check?
Okay, yeah, common scenario. The very first thing you need to verify is the schema's primary identity field.
Ah, the primary identity again.
Yes. As we sort of touched on with the identity graph, a primary identity, like an email address or maybe a unique customer ID, is essential for linking all the different pieces of data to a single person.
So if that primary identifier isn't correctly defined in the schema, or maybe it isn't being included in the data coming in, the system can't really tell who's supposed to be entering the journey.
Precisely. Journey Optimizer relies heavily on that primary key to understand which profiles belong to the target audience and should therefore proceed through the steps you've defined in the journey.
Okay.
That specific error message, missing primary identity, is actually a really practical clue. It points directly to a fundamental requirement of how the platform operates.
Makes sense. A good first place to look. Now let's think about optimizing the messages we send so we don't, overwhelm customers. Question 9 asks about an approach that helps prevent sending the same or similar messages to users who might be active in multiple different journeys at the same time.
Right, nobody likes getting bombarded. The solution here is to set up cross-journey suppression rules.
Cross-journey suppression rules.
Yeah. Imagine a customer who abandons their online shopping cart,
Mm-hmm.
but they also happen to be receiving a general promotional email campaign from you. You definitely don't want to hit them with multiple reminders about that same abandoned cart and a bunch of overlapping discounts all within a short period.
No, that would be annoying.
Exactly. That leads to message fatigue, maybe unsubscribes, just a negative experience overall.
So these suppression rules act like a smart filter, preventing you from accidentally spamming people who are in different flows.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
They allow you to exclude users from one journey if they're already active in another, specifically defined journey.
Mm.
It ensures they don't receive redundant or maybe even conflicting messages.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really valuable insight into effective marketing, I think. It's not just about sending more messages. It's about sending the right messages at the right time and, crucially, avoiding unnecessary noise.
Absolutely. Okay, and finally, before you unleash these, potentially complex customer journeys on your actual customers, you want to be absolutely sure they're going to work as expected, right?
Oh, definitely. Please test.
Question 10 asks about the key advantage of using test mode in Adobe Journey Optimizer.
Right, test mode. The primary advantage is that it simulates real-time triggers using test profiles.
Okay, using test profiles.
Yes, this is incredibly valuable because it lets you basically walk through the entire journey flow, see if your logic is correct, verify that the personalization is working, check the message timing, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
but without impacting your live customer data at all.
So it's like a full dress rehearsal where you can use sample customers, fake customers to make sure everything is set up correctly before you flip the switch for your real audience.
Exactly that. You can use predefined test profiles, maybe ones you've set up with specific characteristics, and then you simulate the specific events like a fake purchase or a fake sign-up that are supposed to trigger the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch exactly what happens at each step. Does the right message go out? Does the personalization look right? It drastically reduces the risk of errors and ensures a much smoother, much more reliable experience for your actual customers when you finally deploy the real journey.
might businesses completely rethink the ways they connect with their customers now?
Mm.
How can they leverage these powerful tools to move beyond those, one-size-fits-all broadcasts and actually create truly relevant, respectful individual experiences that, build lasting relationships? That's a fascinating question to keep in mind.